Welcome to this incredible session planned by Team Computers in association with Automation Anywhere, our strategic partner for RPA on digital transformation through RPA or robotic process automation. At Team Computers, we believe in Ikigai, a reason of being. It's a Japanese proverb for a long and happy life. And our reason of being is digital transformation for our customers. Today, we'll be covering these two major topics in this session. One, of course, would be on digital transformation, how RPA is helping organizations like yourself transform in these times. This will be something which will be covered by my dear friend Abhishek, who's also on call with me. And host Abhishek tells you about what is RPA and sets a little context there. Mukul Jain, who's also here on this talk today, who's the solution architect and pre-sales lead at Team Computers, will walk us through some RPA applications in various functions like finance, IT, and HR. Now, before I bring in Abhishek on this call and ask him to kind of tell you guys about what RPA is, just wanted to set a little context and a tone to this session. In a few short years, software robots in the enterprise have gone from a novel idea to companies consider essential to their ongoing success. Robotic process automation, or RPA, enables companies to automate routine tasks using software bots that emulates humans so employees spend less time on manual work and more time on activities that leverage their most valuable human skill. The result? Greater job satisfaction for workers and a significant business impact for the organization. According to a recent IDC research, 4 out of 5 executives indicate that primary benefits of RPA includes fewer or zero reducing time rework, faster speed of response and process flexibility, and ability for employees to make better and more consistent decisions. A fully automated enterprise is a digitally transformed enterprise. In other words, automation helps companies digitally transform. And those that embrace automation across the organization at scale and include employees in this effort see results faster. Such an organization today is called a fully automated enterprise. This is a company that is more efficient, more resilient, and outperforms its peers. In such a company, both customers and employees both are satisfied. While a traditional enterprise takes a top-down approach to automation, fully automated enterprise involves everyone in the organization in its automation efforts. A fully automated enterprise today will typically assign automable tasks to robots who would do the mundane repetitive tasks, provide a bot to every person to augment work and empower the workforce, democratize development by providing a low-code or a no-code platform, and unleash AI at all levels to spot automation opportunity and build smarter bots. Now,
Uh,
with that, let me introduce you to Abhishek Barav. Yes, Sanam, is there something?
yep. So, Renish, your voice is breaking a bit. Maybe there's a little bit of bandwidth issue. Maybe you can choose to turn off your camera for the moment.
Sure thing. Is this better, Sanam?
Much better. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, with this, I wanted to introduce to you Abhishek Parav, Principal Architect from Automation Anywhere. Abhishek is part of the sales engineering team at Automation Anywhere, focused on designing digital workforce, cloud security architectures, and consulting best practices for mid to large scale projects. With 14 years of experience, including RPA, cloud data, data center, storage, and networking industry, he has worked under various profiles in organizations like FI Networks, Nutanix, Brocade, consulting different business verticals. Abhishek believes in customer first approach and helps customer drive digital transformation. Abhishek, take it away.
Hey, thanks a lot, Nish. Thanks a lot. Uh, Let me just start sharing my screen, and I hope it's visible. Somebody can confirm, Renish or Sanam.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
perfect.
it is.
Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for that introduction, Renish. And from there on, let's talk about what exactly a digital workforce what exactly the platform is all about and how exactly it helps a lot of customers drive their digital transformation journey, right? But let me start with the simple problem statement first, right? Now, typically when you look at any enterprise, they have thousands of applications which they're running in their production, right? It may be a dev test production, UAT for that matter. But there are thousands of applications out of which 500 plus applications are customized applications, which are suitable, which are specifically customized to meet your own enterprise needs, right? But what's the problem with that, right? The real problem is when you grow in terms of your application over the period of time, the application landscape is growing a lot, and you're adopting a lot of in-house applications. Some are consumed from the SaaS, and in reality, only the 20% of the applications get automated because there's a scale at which you are growing, and the amount of bandwidth that you can spend for the automation also is limited. And that's the reason 20% is only getting automated. But there's a huge gap. There's a gap of almost 80%, which need to be automated, which is not addressed. And how we really address that problem by bringing the human labor. Now, human labor is basically responsible for stitching applications, taking data across application, talking from front office to back office, and so on. That's where human labor is really utilized to do that repetitive, mundane work, right? Which can be very well automated. And that's where we bring in a digital labor, which is a digital employee like a bot, which will allow human to work along with the digital labor to do more productive work and productive task, right? That's how the digital labor are really brought into the overall framework. Now, if you look at the way the applications are spread, there are front office application like Salesforce, Marketo, Zendesk, Pega. There are back office application like Workday, IBM, Oracle, SAP, CS, ERP application. And every application has been designed to meet that specific purpose. So if you look at back office, you're looking at how do I really improve the productivity. If I look at the front office, how do I really the customer experience, or how do I really improve the customer satisfaction, right? And then you also have your employees. Now, there's some bit of automation which is really possible within the application, but that doesn't really solve the end-to-end problem. And that's where we bring in our automation in our platform, which bridges that gap between your front office, back office employee, and create one single office environment for you, right? So it's a tool, it's a platform which allow you to bridge that gap between multiple segments within the enterprise. And that's where the automation comes in and play a critical role. So exactly who we are. We are rated as a leader in this RPA space, the digital workforce space. We have more than 2.5 million digital workers, you can call it deployed in production across over 4,000 plus customers. And if you see, the research firms are very well talking about the category of RPA, and it is playing a very key role in the overall digital transformation of a digital employee. Now, if you see from Everest report, last year the market was around 1.7 billion in size, which is RPA market. And as per the report, it is still going to grow 45 to 50% in terms of the growth that we see, which is coming from the adoption of digital workforce platform. Now, there are key metrics based on which the platforms are really evaluated, right? The first and foremost is how easy it is to use the platform. So ease of use is one of the criteria, which is a low code, no code platform. The second criteria is how you easily integrate with the enterprise applications. And the third category is how do you really orchestrate your governance security framework alongside all your digital labors, right? And that's how the research firms really rate the platforms in terms of the leader space and the niche market and so on, right? So we have been rated as a leader in this space very well, and that's the reason we have a lot of customers across all vertical. We are not limited to just one segment, but we are there across all the vertical. Whether it's a BFSI, whether it's a pharma, retail, manufacturing, we are there everywhere. And we have seen customer taking real advantage of the platform. Uh, they may start with some business function to start with, but eventually we have seen customers moving into the front office space, a contact center space. How do I really improve my customer satisfaction at the branch offices, considering the bank, the way they operate? If you look at the pharma companies, how do I handle my clinical data? How do I handle my patient information in life science? How do I handle my records? How do I handle my research data? All these things are falling under the pharma space. At the same time, a supply chain plays a very critical role in retail and manufacturing. And we have seen customers taking the advantage of supply chain function, planning, inventory management, logistics space, tracking your vehicles, and so on. All these use cases are very well automated under RPA space or a digital workforce platform, right? So that's the quick view of what is happening just across the industry, right? And if you see the benefits which customers are able to draw out of it is defined in terms of different metrics, right? You may look at operational efficiency or accuracy or productivity is one metric. The other can be a customer experience, right? The next can be a cost saving. And these are in generic values which digital workforce is really driving, right? The ROI and the revenue growth are again key focus areas for many of the customer. Now, when you want to really choose a digital workforce platform, you define what's going to be your key criteria for adopting the platform, whether it's an improvement, whether productivity improvement, whether it's a customer experience, whether it's a ROI, and then you can define your complete path to that success, right? That's how you should actually plan your success with the digital workforce. And we have seen customers going from start scale to transformation in last 15 plus years of experience that we have with the customer. Now, we've been talking about digital workforce, but just to define what is RPA, although Anish covered in his initial speech, but RPA is just nothing but a software program that sits on your existing system and performs all the manual activity which are repetitive in nature, which are rule-based in activity. So in short, it emulates like a person. It emulates a person. It makes a decision based on a defined rule, and it also integrates with most of the enterprise application, right? So apart from your rule base and mimic, uh, working with your existing IT infrastructure is also the one of the key criteria. And the good part about RPA is it does not demand any changes to your backend infrastructure or backend application. And that way it can seamlessly integrate with your existing application base, whether it's a, a, a state-of-art application or whether it's a legacy application. RPA can very well fit into this space, right? And I have seen that not RPA is not a platform just to limit yourself to legacy application base or where you want to reduce the manual effort. But even I have seen a digital native companies have a lot of processes which are manual work intensive, which are repetitive in nature, and we can very well go and adopt the platform there. Now, why really customer choose automation anywhere? Uh, the one important thing which I would quote is one single platform, and I'm going to talk about a platform, what it is and what problem it really solves. But it one single platform which actually allows you to do a lot of automation with the native capabilities that we have. It is easier to use by a business user, a non-technical user. So there is a new concept, a low code, no code, but a citizen developer model is a new concept which has been revolving around a lot of enterprises, right? And I've seen customers asking for it. What exactly is a citizen developer model or the citizen developer initiative, right? And that's where you need a low code, no code platform to really achieve that. A modern architecture is definitely we moved from legacy architecture to a microservices container architecture, just for a few IT folks to know. But we moved into the newer architecture so that we can give more advantages, more insights to the customer. At the same time, maintain the lowest TCO and the strong customer support. And these are the few drivers why automation even plays a key role in the transformation journey, right? Now, coming to the platform in itself consists of a lot of components, right? Now, when you want to really automate certain process or activity or a task, the first thing that you do in any automation project is identify whether uh, I have a good opportunity in this specific task to be automated. So basically, you discover your process first. If you discover your task, discover your activity first. And that's where a discovery bot plays a role. It allows you to capture as this process, the way it is done by the business user, and then finally give you an outcome in terms of opportunity or maybe a priority which can be given to the project. So that's the use of a discovery bot. Now, RPA straight away or by default, by nature, works on a structured data. When I say structured data, it works on Excel file, it works on databases, it works on website form, works on uh, either a desktop or web application. But there are many processes which also needs to handle documents. Now, document can be a purchase order, contract documents, KYCs, contract document, invoices, so on. So many documents, right? So IQBot is a platform which allows you to convert these documents into a structured data, right? So think about the intelligent OCR. IQBot is an intelligent OCR, which has a machine learning capability, which evolves over the period of time, right? That's what the IQBot really does. And then you pass on the control to the RPA to really perform that repetitive rule-based activity. And finally, you analyze everything using a bot inside. I'm going to touch upon this topic in very quickly across slides, but that's basically constitutes a one Automation 360 platform, which is Automation Anywhere's own core capability. And this all governed under single orchestration layer, which control will provide that end user experience end to end. Right now, the platform can be deployed in pure cloud mode, whether you want to consume it like a subscription service from Automation Anywhere, or you can also deploy it your own on-prem infrastructure. There is no gap in terms of the feature and functionality. Everything remains really same. Now, the one layer which we wanted to really bring in, which is for the consumer layer, is a, a simple front-end interface, which is we call it as AARI, Automation Anywhere Robotic Interface, that allows end user to interact with the automation platform. So it's a front end for all the consumers to interact with. And we have a lot of integration with enterprise application. At the same time, we have our own bot store where there are a lot of bots which are posted by our customer, partner, and Automation Anywhere employees also, so that they can be consumed by different enterprises based on their business need, right? So that's how the platform is basically consist of. Let me go slightly one step ahead and talk about what is exactly that automation with robotic interface, right? And what's the benefit it really provides. Now, when you look at automation with robotic interface, it just uh, it just allow a human and a digital worker to work side by side. So we are not talking about replacing the human labor, but rather we are talking about how to make them work together. So whenever a human need some work to be done, he can pass on the control to the digital worker. Whenever a digital worker needs some exception, needs some business decision making, he can come to a human worker. And that's how they can work hand in hand together. So RE, as I said, RE is nothing but a front-end interface, which is allowing a knowledge worker, business user, contact center to really talk to the complete automation framework in the background. At the same time, bringing your team, your manager, your other employees into the same flow. That way you can create a complete business workflow within the RE framework. And that really unlocks a lot of benefits in terms of simplifying your employee work, decreasing operation cost, increasing your customer satisfaction. And at the same time, bots are talking to your business application. So your continuity wise, your application access also maintained. Now, RE brings in a lot of advantages in terms of the use cases which we can deliver. It is not limited by a front office space, but it can also fall into a back office. Whether you're looking at customer service, whether you're looking at sales, marketing, IT, HR, finance, the use cases are limitless. Whenever a finance needs some ad hoc reports based on some dynamic inputs, they can pass on the information to the bot, and it can continue to work in the background and come back with the response. Same thing goes with the HR, or HR and IT working together. Think about you are onboarding an employee into your enterprise, and as part of the onboarding, there are three parties which are bare minimum involved. HR for onboarding the employee, IT for allowing the resources, enabling the software access, and also finance for creating the data or a database for the customer. RE can bring all of these three together and work in a single workflow, right? And it very simplifies the need that the business has, right? So that's a quick view on RE. Is like I said, it's a single simple front end which is built for the business user or for any technical persona for that matter. Now, although I mentioned a discovery bot, just going slightly deeper into it. Like I said, a discovery bot is a tool allow you to record user activity. Now, the real problem that we heard from the customer is getting data or getting the process your discovery document or your even your process design document, right? That's a critical task, right? That's very important when you want to automate something, and that's where a discovery can help you record user activity. It gives you another user interface which allows you to define your automation opportunity and assign a cost to it, right? And finally, it also allows you to automatically create your automation. So it's a tool for creating automation. So think about that's the way it is, right? And it benefits you from creating automation faster. At the same time, you can automate more because now you're spending less time capturing the process and more time automating the process. That way, there are a lot of benefits out of it. Cognitive bot, which I spoke about, it's a intelligent document processing. If you think from the category standpoint, so IDP is a category of for intelligent document processing in Gartner Everest quadrant, right? And IQ bot, which is automation aware platform, is capable of converting your semi-structured, unstructured document like invoices, purchase order, contract document into a structured data, which can be then processed by the RPA. So IQBot itself is built for the use of any persona, whether it's a business user, IT, or any persona that matter. Business IQBot can be leveraged by anyone. There are a lot of pre-integrated packages that we provide, and it's also built for developer to put more customization. Right? That's how the platform is built. The use case wise, there are a lot of use cases which we have built ourselves, which you think about invoices, insurance claim, loan application, you're talking about bill of landing. These are many of these projects are built by automation anywhere, but we have seen our partners and customers also contributing to the automation framework. So our partners have developed solutions like KYC on top of our platform, GST for India, Form 16 for India. Even customers have developed and customized their own solution. So the IQPod itself is very customizable platform, which can be used to create your own domain, your own specific business needs, and so on. And that way, the platform is very flexible. So IQBot is all about document processing. And finally, the RPA has to be made so simple that it can be also used by all the persona. So now the platforms are not limited to a developer community, but the platform can be also used and maintained and monitored and consumed by a business user. And that's where the low code, no code requirement plays a key role. And with Automation 360, we have actually transformed our platform into a low code, no code design, but not leaving the advanced capability out of the outside that platform, but also bringing those scripting capability into the platform based on the business requirement. Finally, bot inside is about just creating and giving you the output on how the bots are performing, because now you need a mechanism to monitor your digital employee, and that's where the bot inside will play a key role. The bot inside is more about getting operational insight, getting business insights into a single console or a dashboard. So this all covers basically a platform capability or what exactly a digital workforce is all about. And this is where we deliver a digital workforce value cycle. With this capability that I spoke about, you will be able to unlock a lot of benefits for your own business. Now, like I said, you define what's the outcome that you're looking at, whether you're looking at a resiliency, whether you're looking at a labor optimization, productivity improvement, customer experience. You define, you create a simple, repeatable cycle of the automation, and you will be able to unlock those benefits, those value out of it. And we have seen customer doing it. This is just example I will quote. Eli Lilly is one of the customers from pharma company, and two areas they wanted to really focus on is a customer engagement and also how to also improve my front end sales rep productivity. And they have automated areas like marketing, they have automated in sales, they are automated areas like doctor visits to their sales representative, and also clinical development, right? And these are the benefits. This is a public case study. This is available on our website very well. 7,500 hours have already saved, 1.7 million cost saving, and 30 tasks now been completed by the bots. And there's a good pipeline from them also to automate further, right? So this is one example from the pharma, but to quote another one from the manufacturing side of it, right? This is a Cord Graphics, again, manufacturing firm. They have initially started with the simple finance processes, but today if you see the scale at which they have grown, 19 departments are already automating their tasks today with 46 bots in production as of now, and there is a 200% expansion plan which already given by the customer. The simple reason being they were able to see those results, they were able to see the value of that digital workforce platform in their initial run, and they were able to then expand it to more than 15 departments, which is close to 19 departments as of now. Right now, the function which I remember, they have automated supply chain, handling their paper paper management. Even I have seen they talking about handling their fuel capacity management, right? Depending upon the rates at which the rates are published on the website, right, and so on. So that's how we have seen customers trying different areas under the automation, right? So that's how we as Automation US see a digital workforce platform. We have seen customers starting as small as 5 bots and growing even to the thousands of bots in production, and with benefits that are really driving their overall transformation journey, right? That's what I wanted to present. I will for the next section I will give it back to the team's computer team. Yeah, I will stop sharing. I think Mukul is the one.
Hey, thank you so much, Abhishek. That was quite interesting. Good insights and excellent use cases that we saw. And we really saw how RPA has been leveraged by big companies, especially in the manufacturing and pharma use cases that you picked up. We saw some really big business impacts on those case studies. Thanks for that, Abhishek.
Yeah, thanks.
So moving on, everyone. Before I move on, there are a couple of things. If you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat box, and we will be taking our Q&A towards the end of the session, and we'll definitely love to answer. We are getting a lot of questions here, and we'll definitely address them towards the end of it. Now, before I give the session over to Mukul to run us through some use cases in detail, where you understand how bot actually sits and operates, where you probably get to see a live bot in action. We just quickly wanted to take a couple of poll questions up. So, Sanam, if you're ready, why don't we bring up the poll screen? Awesome. Thank you so much, Sanam. So, everyone, what is most important for you in achieving results from automation? Increased productivity, improved quality and compliance, high customer satisfaction, greater speed, reduced staffing. Oh, there's another question. Excellent. So there are two questions, everyone. We would love to hear from you on what your thoughts are on these. Second question, what technology areas do you plan to invest in for building resilience in the new fiscal year? RPA and intelligent automation, analytics or big data, machine learning, or other emerging technologies? So I am definitely going to go for increase. I have an answer ready. And let's see, Sanam, if we have answers already. Excellent. Wow, this is a really interesting result. That's exactly what I thought as well. Increased productivity is what people here are thinking about. That is with an 81% lead on that, with quality and compliance. And I'm very happy to see, in fact, that RP and intelligent automation is on your minds, everyone. Thank you so much for participating in this poll. Gives us a lot of perspective on this. So let's understand how RPA actually helps in increasing productivity. And for that, let me request Mukul to join in and walk us through some use cases. Mukul, I believe you want me to present the screen. So give me one moment.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Rinesh.
Over to you, Mukul.
Yeah, so I'll be taking you all through 3 use cases from some of the top use cases we have recently deployed. This one shows the vendor invoice processing use case. So which is the most impactful and the most adopted across industries that we have seen. In this, we digitize the vendor invoices using IQBot, an AI/ML powered document reading system, and automate the entry and matching of the entire invoice processing process in the company's ERP system. So as Abhishek also very well covered about the IQBot and the enterprise RPA, this use case typically covers the beauty of how the IQBot and the enterprise RPA work together to automate end-to-end processes, wherein we digitize your documents, we do all the rule-based matching, and we can also automate the data entry in any of your ERPs. So how this works is the data extraction happens using the IQBot, which the bot can automatically pick up your invoices from any shared folder if you're scanning the invoices manually, or if you're receiving the e-invoices through email, the bot automatically picks up the invoices through email, reads all the information, put it into a structured format, and then as per the workflow, it can even keep the human in loop. So for all the human intervention required, and wherever an alert has to be raised for any kind of mismatch in the data or matching has failed, in all those scenarios, the bot is capable of sending the human alerts and seeking help from the human workers wherever required. These are the typical business benefits which we ourselves saw after implementing this in-house. So we reduce the errors by 100%. Earlier, we are into a hardware business as well, wherein we receive more than, we manage the flow of 3 to 4 lakh products in a year. So we have warehouses across India where material comes in. The data entry team at the warehouses have to verify all the details on the invoices, match it with the details in the purchase order, and all of these are very tedious and very manual tasks, which required dealing with numbers and making sure everything is in order. So the system never makes any mistake in matching the information, in comparing numbers. So through this, we reduce the errors by 100%. Now, earlier, if one invoice processing used to take 5 to 10 minutes for an employee, the bot is able to work on it at more than 5 times the speed. So through this, we even reduce the turnaround time by 80%. And through all of this, we see an saving of 3,000 man hours per year. So I have a real demo of how this actually looks next. And before we move on to the video demo, so this does not works on one single language. We recently did a pilot for one of the global companies wherein we built uh, this whole piece for 5 different languages. So the IQ bot is a fully managed OCR system, which intelligent OCR system, which can work on multiple languages as well. So 20 plus languages are compatible with the IQ bot, and AI is deeply integrated into it, which ensures that as the bot is getting more and more invoices, it keeps improvising the results and the straight through processing. So Renish, if you can move on to the next slide, let's play the video.
Organizations today need to rethink their processes and become digital in order.
Can you confirm, Sanam or Mukul, if this is audible and visible?
Yes.
Thank you.
Organizations today need to rethink their processes and become digital in order to survive the current situation. And automation is the first step in their journey to digital transformation. Team Computers brings to you Automation Anywhere 360, industry's leading intelligent digital workforce platform that offers IQBot. Now streamline your procure-to-pay workflow. RPA and IQBot together automate your procure-to-pay process. Not just this, it sends an alert whenever an error is encountered during the process, which further increases the efficiency of valuable human resources, accelerates procurement speed, and reduces human errors. The task bot executes all the actions that are needed to be performed in the process, such as reading invoice data, entering data, validating data, sending an email, etc. The bot downloads PDF invoices from the email inbox and stores it in the input folder. IQBot reads the data from this PDF and extracts the required fields in a structured format, saved as a CSV file. The data entry bot then logs into the ERP. Now, the bot enters the invoice number from the extracted CSV file to check whether the invoice is posted or not. If the invoice is already posted, then error handling is invoked. Otherwise, the bot clicks on the RPA purchaser order list and enters the PO number. If the PO is not found, then the error handling is invoked. Otherwise, the bot opens the PO and extracts the purchaser ID and check the status of the PO. If the PO status is released, bot continues to run. But if the PO status is open, pending for approval, bot stops and then error handling is invoked. The bot now moves to check the extracted invoice data with the PO details. If all the validation checkpoints are matched, then the bot updates the entries that need to be updated. Otherwise, bot sends an email with the status of all checkpoints to the purchase team. Once all the validation checkpoints are passed, bot updates TCS, fee rate, invoice number, invoice date, system date. Lastly, the bot checks the serial number quantity to the extracted CSV file. If it matches, then the bot updates the serial number. But if it does not match, then error handling is invoked by sending an email to the purchaser ID. After completing the activity, the bot closes automatically. Automate your invoice processing today with Automation Anywhere 360 bot and save human time, effort, and cost. For more information and product demo, reach out to us.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry for the bandwidth issue. I think Dinesh, there's a bandwidth issue from your end also. The video was breaking in between.
Oops, I'll just check this. Thank you. Is this screen visible?
Moving on to the next one. This is another use case from the HR function. This is a labor compliance bot, which again we deployed internally. And in this, so this is a third-party payroll management bot. Many companies have to adhere to the labor compliance laws. So we have a lot of customers of our managed services department who have to ensure the labor compliance of their respective states. So for this, we also have to give them all the necessary details with respect to the basic wages, their daily attendance, ESI, PF, etc., and send them periodic reports on the employees that are deployed at their end. So we built a bot for this particular use case, wherein we have a bot which pulls in all the data from our HRMS and ERP, prepares data for each of the customers state-wise in the respective formats. And it can even broadcast the reports to the customers through email, or can zip the folder, put it on a drive and share it across. So this happens at a 20x speed now. So how we actually created the impact through this is, earlier there was one full-time equivalent who used to keep working on the reports and collating all the data for 50 plus customers. So we replaced this task with a bot, and now it happens at a 20x speed, and in less than 1 day we are able to get all the reports collated. Dinesh, can we move on to the next slide?
One moment, Mukul, I believe there is some bandwidth issue at my end. I'm requesting Sanam to put the video up and the presentation up. Just allow us one moment, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you so much, Sanam. Back to you, Mukul and Sanam.
This is a raw, unedited screen recording of the bot. So how this works is on the bottom left, you can see is the input folder. Here, to ensure confidentiality of our HRMS and the ERP, we have not taken this raw screen recording starting from the ERP and HRMS. This bot picks up all the information from the ERP and HRMS and collates it into one single master file, which is the input file on which we have to do all the processing and segregate the data. Sanam, you can play it. Yeah, so bot picks up information from these master files. This is for one of the customers for which we have implemented this. It basically creates the attendance register. So to get the payment from the customers on time and ensure the labor compliance, there's a set format in which we have to put all the information. So it picks up the attendance data from our HRMS, puts it in the attendance register format, and the basic wages, salary breakup, and all the details that are required as per the state-wise labor compliance. All of these details are collated in the sheet. And you can see how fast it is working. Earlier, this is working for one customer for 12 states. So earlier, it used to take hours for the person to actually pull in data from the sources, coordinate with different people, coordinate with the ERP team if they're not able to access the data. Automatically, systems are interacting within themselves, and RPA is orchestrating all the activities and creating reports for 12 states in less than a minute's time. So this is a completely unedited raw recording, and we saw it was able to create the folder containing uh, data for 12 states in a minute. This is how it is applicable across different functions, and we are able to create value and improve the productivity and increase the speed at which the processes happen. Can you go on to the next slide? This is another very interesting use case which got a lot of traction in the recent times. So this is related to the COVID results data entry. There's a mandate by the government. Whenever a person goes for a RT-PCR test, the lab has to upload their test results and the customer demographics on the ICMR portal before they release the report to the customer. We automated this process. A lot of labs were facing the challenge especially during the peaks. So they were not able to hire a lot of people on an ad hoc basis to do the data entry and be available 24/7. So the big labs like SRL, Dr. Lal, all of these labs have a big team of data entry people taking the information from the lab information management system and uploading the results on the ICMR portal. So this is a very repetitive and a very mundane task, and very suitable task for RPA, because we built a bot which directly picks up all the required information from the lab information management system, launches the ICMR web portal, logs into the ICMR portal. There are multiple rules also. There are some cases which have been already registered with the RT-PCR app. There are some for which we only have to post the results. So it is able to cater to multiple scenarios and do the data entry seamlessly. So this saw a cost reduction of 60%, and the bots were available 24/7. So they had to pay very huge penalties to the government if they miss the turnaround time of 24 hours. As earlier also, recently in May, we saw that RT-PCR test results were coming in 2-3 days. So for all these delays, the lab companies have to pay a penalty to the ICMR if they do not upload the test results in time. So it helped them even reduce on the penalties they were paying. They were able to upload all the results on the ICMR portal within the 24-hour turnaround time. So, Sanam, can you move on to the next slide? This is a live demo of how this bot works in action. So we built it with the ICMR portal, and some of the labs also have to upload it on the respective state government's web portal also. So this is a recording for the state government portal. It works in very similar fashion for the ICMR portal. So, Sanam, you can play the video.
Regulatory reporting for COVID-19 using robotic process automation. Step 1. Data extraction and validation from lab information management system through database, Excel, or front end. Step 2. Login to the respective state government's COVID-19 monitoring system. Step 3. Enter sample ID on the portal and update patient's test result. Process repeated one by one for each patient and sign out from the portal. Step 4. Update logs with status of each entry. Step 5. Close all windows. So, let's look at how the RPA bot will function.
Yep. So this is how we automated the
Automating
process, and
regulatory reporting for
so
COVID 19 tests and results.
so this is how we automated the process, and uh, on top of this, we also built a BI dashboard for them. So as Abhishek also covered, bot insights. The bot using bot insights, we built dashboard which shows insights on the positivity rate, the number of tests being processed in a day, so that they are actually able to see the value they're getting out of this through this automation. How many results are being uploaded, and uh, how many of what was the time earlier they were spending on it, the number of FT savings, etc. So Dinesh, that was it from my end. Over to you again.
Thank you so much, Mukul. That was interesting to see how our bots are live in action and how they operate and how we add value to organizations and their business processes. So, before we bring this session to an end, a couple of things before we get into the quick question and answer session. I think, Sanam, we have another polling question for our attendees, right? All right, there you go, everyone. So how would you like us to interact with you post the webinar in case you got interested with the entire RPA technology and the automation, how it helps in helps organization, and if you would want to explore more on this, would you want an advisory workshop, develop a POC, or help scale your already existing automation processes? There you go. So a lot of people here would like an advisory workshop. So amazing. We'll definitely, our teams will reach out and help you set up this workshop to understand how we can help and leverage, help you leverage RPA as a technology. So without any further delay, I think we are very close to the end of our session time. So we'll quickly spend some time on a couple of questions that we have received. In case we do miss out on anything, we will definitely send you a mailer with our response towards it. So one of the questions was from Vivek Dharia, and it got answered in the chat session thanks to Abhishek and Mukul. But the question was, RPA can compare data from multiple systems to ensure accuracy and identify any discrepancies. So yes, Vivek, bots can be leveraged to two-way, three-way match depending upon the business requirement. It can also trigger an expectation workflow based on defined rule. Apart from this, let me just quickly pull out the question sheets that we have received. All right. So, quick question to you, Mukul. How is RPA useful in the insurance segment? Is there a use case that can be defined in insurance? What kind of use cases are there in this business vertical?
So in insurance, claim processing is one use case where we have seen all the claim documents that the insurance company receives, extracting the information from the hospital bills and putting them in an Excel file and checking if all the supporting documents that are required as per the claim are present and provided by the customer or not. So all and also on the customer experience front, as Abhishek also covered. So RE, a lot of RE use cases are there which can help improve the customer experience.
Lovely. Thank you so much for that. Quick question to you, Abhishek. If you can help us,
Yeah,
something very
Rish, go ahead.
interesting. I think something which will really help. So the question to you, Abhishek, is how do you calculate ROI if you put an RPA solution in place? Are there any key drivers which help identifying it?
Yeah, interesting one. And the one thing which I've mentioned during my session, right? The first thing that you define when you get into a digital transformation journey, right? What's exactly the ROI that you want to drive? Whether it's a CSAT, whether it's a productivity improvement, or whether it's a maybe a improving your compliance and records, right? You really need to define those metrics, right? Now, typically, Rinish, how we measure ROI is we look at the amount of investment that we're doing, right, for the platform itself, look at the amount of time we are using to really develop that task, right? But finally, the real value that we want to drive is, let's say, if I'm spending a process 10 minutes, and you saw in the examples which already Mukul was showing, right? You're able to reduce that 1 hour to 10 minutes, right? So there is a 90% straight, 80 to 90% reduction in terms of the effort that we are spending, right? That's how you really go and calculate, but there are a lot of metrics around it, how you really calculate the ROI out of it, right? But really, you need to define what is the outcome that you want to drive, and that will
Lovely.
then
Thank you so
help
much
you
for that,
really.
Abhishek.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect, perfect. I think there's another question which has come in very much related to the whole implementation. I'll stick to you for this question as well. So, what are the things we should remember in the process of RP implementation?
Okay, so see the things to remember when you really want to identify the areas for automation. The one thing that we always do with the customer is educate them on what RPA does first, right? What are the capabilities of the RPA, and then go and do a workshop with them, which is normally we do as a process discovery workshop. Process discovery workshop helps us really identify that, okay, what is this area, which how the process is done end to end today, what are the areas which need to be enhanced further. So there might be a business process which is not yet standardized, right? So first standardize the process and then select the process and identify whether it's a RPA which will alone solve the problem, or you want to go and augment that by another cognitive tool and capacity and so on, right? So the process discovery workshop is really a starting point to understand how the processes are done in customer enterprise organization today, and then really define that path. That's how normally we start as an implementation plan.
Lovely. Thank you so much for that, Abhishek. So, two questions before we'll call this session to an end in the interest of time. So, a question to you, Mukul. How OCR can recognize incorrect character like watermarks, stamps, and handwritten text on the document?
As a best practice, we recommend that the documents do not have stamps over the area from where we have to extract the information. Though the OCR we are using with IQBot is able to extract handwritten documents data as well, but we comment on the accuracy only after analyzing the documents post the discovery workshops.
Yeah, the overlap, just to add, Anish, I think in interest
Mm-hmm.
of time, and just half a minute, right?
Yeah.
Now, like Mukul said, Definitely, the handwritten is a way to go because the OCR capability that we have in the platform, Azure OCRs are very well capable of doing that, right? On the specifically on the watermarks and the stamps, sometimes watermarks can be reduced by bringing some pre-processing capability that we offer in the platform, which will allow you to remove those watermarks so that the documents become more clear. So there are pre-processing modules which can be leveraged. Stamp is a tricky part, which Mukul said. If it's a stamp overlapping with the solid color on it, right? Then the extraction quality degrades. So we need to make sure that people are not putting stamps on the actual text that we want to really extract. But yeah, there are tools, pre-processing tools, which can be still leveraged to improve level of extraction.
Right. So there are, as Abhishek very rightly mentioned, the pre-processing modules are there, but usually, if you have the stamps anywhere on the document from where we do not have to extract the information. So, for example, if total amount is to be extracted and the stamp is right on top of the total amount, then it gets a bit tricky. Otherwise, we have very powerful pre-processing packages through which we can even reduce the noise in the documents.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Mukul and Abhishek, for those quick answers. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we bring the session to an end. Hope this was interesting and informative for you. We at Team Computers are the preferred and strategic partners for RPA implementation. With our certified RPA resources, we and an in-house COE team, we ensure that our RPA journeys can be the journeys that we initiate with our customers and organization is perfect. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Our teams will be in touch and do reach out to us for any kind of clarifications post this session. It was a pleasure having you here. Thanks Abhishek, thanks Mukul, and good evening everyone. Have a great weekend ahead. Thank you
Thanks everyone.
Sanam.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Sanam. Thank you, Renish. Thank you, everyone.